Hi, and welcome to I Suck at Video Games look at the Sony Press Conference for E3 2016. Sony started off kinda like Nintendo at E3 2011, with an orchestra performing a nice piece of music. Thing is, no one knew what the hell it was from. I think Nintendo did it better. This looks more like an awards show than a video game conference. This is where things got a bit weird. It turns out that this was for a new unannounced game. Still, we weren't sure of what it was until we saw this guy. It's a new God of War. It looks nice, and the environment looks rather The Last of Us-ish, which is a good thing. Daddy's angry. You've disappointed me for the last time, boy! Now this is a Dr. Cox moment if I ever saw one. There isn't a subtitle for this game yet, but I'd be surprised if it isn't called God of War, The Disappointment of a Son. Next up was another unannounced game called Days Gone. Leaked! Once again, this has a Last of Us feel to it. Turns out before the apocalypse, this guy was an assumedly drug-dealing, thieving criminal biker. Or not, maybe he was a straight-edge biker. Looks like there's going to be a decent narrative too. The relatable drifter. Much to everyone's delight, The Last Guardian had a new trailer shown. I still don't really know what's going on. Is that an evil dog bird clone? Aw, don't die, puppy. And finally, we got a release date. Making its return from last year's show, we have Horizon Zero Dawn. And again, more influences from The Last of Us. Look at that crafting.
Watch out! It's corrupted!
It's corrupted! It'll take a bribe, just like that.
I don't believe in demons, and
So she believes in a goddess but not demons? From behind, she actually looks like a Scottish man. Sleep now, Metal Gear. Will I dream, Dave? Will I dream, Dave? So far, this is actually looking pretty good. I mean, I'd play it. Now, this game might just be my favorite announcement yet. It's called Detroit: Become Human, and it's from Quantic Dream. It looks pretty as hell, and it actually seems to be very much like Heavy Rain, which is good. He doesn't seem like a very good negotiator.
What was I designed to be? Their slave? Their toy? Now it's my turn to decide.
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. Yummy. There seems to be a lot of different ways these scenarios can go. Will I dream, Dave? Will I dream, Dave?
My name is Connor. This is our story.
The cops are all like, who the hell is he talking to? Okay, this is where things start to go down for me. This is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Leaked! And it's fully playable in VR. Why is this a bad thing? Well, Resident Evil is scary freaking stuff, that's why. Ladies. I won't be able to play this game, especially in VR. Oh, come on, why would you look in there? Next, a price point was given for VR, and frankly, that is still too expensive. Speaking of VR, a bunch of games or experiences were now shown off. First was a game called Farpoint. The premise seems okay, but I don't know, it seems a little lacking compared to what it could be as a regular game. Now this is what VR should be for. Star Wars Battlefront will be getting an X-Wing experience, well, a VR mission it's called. Probably not going to be too in-depth, but still, it looks great. Next up was Batman Arkham VR. No real mention of what it is, if it's a VR version of a previous Arkham game, or if it's something brand new. It was just really a teaser trailer. Complete with Mark Hamill, of course. The lines started to blur here. I think it might have just been poor transition. It wasn't made too clear that this is just Final Fantasy 15 or if it's for VR. But then they showed off this, which is VR, but it is just an experience, so it's probably not much. Maybe just like a side thing you can do. Before the Sony Press Conference started today, I tweeted that I hoped Call of Duty wasn't going to take up any time. I was wrong. This looks pretty freaking amazing. I had no idea it was Call of Duty at first until the logo came up. I think I'm going to have to get this one. It's gone where Call of Duty hasn't gone before. Space. The final frontier. All this floating around and shooting looks pretty good. They've got it working really well. But my gripe is no one can hear you scream in space. You can't hear all these explosions going off. Sound does not travel. To the delight of everyone but me, it appears, a scene depicting Crash Bandicoot filled the stage. I don't care for Crash. Then, as it was being talked about, I thought to myself, you know what, maybe a new Crash game wouldn't be such a bad thing. Turns out there's nothing new here though, just remasters of the old games. I don't see the point of that. If Uncharted showed me anything, it's that Crash gameplay is outdated. It was also announced that Crash is going to be in the new Skylanders game. Frankly, I like the idea of making my own Skylanders better. Bringing things a bit more back to my liking was LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. It's pretty much what you expect, the normal LEGO humour and plenty of sound bites from the films. Plus, who doesn't want to run around with a little LEGO BB-8? Dr. House came out next and talked about Sony's relationship with the most talented developers and storytellers in the industry. I wasn't expecting this. Kojima-san! At first, I thought this might have just been a fuck you to Konami, but he actually has a trailer to show off. In traditional Kojima fashion, it shows and tells us very little. Naked guy. And it's none other than Norman Reedus! The game is called Death Stranding. As far as I'm concerned, the show may as well have ended there because nothing can top it. It didn't end though. Next up was the slightly less impressive Spider-Man from Insomniac. It does actually look pretty good though. I haven't been web-slinging in a while, so I might give this game a shot. To close the show, we saw gameplay of Days Gone, the biker post-apocalyptic game. I assume there's going to be zombies. It feels like that kind of game. Who knows, maybe it's just a survival game set in the post-apocalyptic world. Hey, a doggy, that's a good sign. Nah, there's not going to be zombies.
I could use that.
I don't think that's how a silencer works, but okay. Ah, yep, zombies. Yeah, zombies. I feel like I'm not going to play this game. I don't like hordes and hordes of zombies chasing me. And that was it from Sony. The presentation was much slicker than the last few years' events. Heaps of trailers were shown and there was very little yapping on. What was your favourite game? Tell us in the comments below. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit like. And if you don't want to miss out on the other E3 videos, feel free to subscribe.